the whole sunglass on the head thing didn't work. We are purple today. So, growing up as a Malaysian, I've always had this thing. I've always seen this thing of which one is more important, BM or BI. Actually, BM is what? BM is Bahasa Melayu, Bahasa Malaysia. I don't even know anymore. I think it's Bahasa Malaysia. I'm not sure. And yes, I'm wearing my baju tidur. And I didn't realize it so much when I was small, but now I realize that I see this thing about people arguing over which one is more important, you know, BM or BI. And I've seen like influencers, like Malaysian influencers who speak English just like me in the videos. I've seen some of them get like attacked or get hate on Twitter or stuff like that. People saying, you know, if you're Malaysian, you know, kalau tak nak cakap bahasa Melayu, baik tak payah jadi rakyat Malaysia and stuff like that, you know. And that got me because I see two sides of it, you know. I see some people saying that, oh, if you don't speak BM, then you're not Malaysian, you're not a real Malaysian, you know. And then if you're Malaysian, you should speak BM, you know, because that's the national language. And then there's also the other side of people are saying, oh, English is more important, English is the international language, we don't need BM. And I've always seen those two sides. Like, I see both of them. I see people like that in my real life also. Like, growing up, I've always been able to speak English because my family speak English from home, you know. So I memang can speak English last time. And actually in primary school, BM was my weak subject for a while. It was actually the only subject that I went to tuition for in UPSR. Only BM, no other subject. And then eventually I got better lah. But you know, you get the point. Different from most of my friends who couldn't speak English, I could always speak English, you know. And then I remember, like, when I was small, my mother used to scold me if I speak BM with my friend. She'll be like, why you speak BM? You know, she always used to say that Malay is for Malays. And I didn't really used to question that when I was small. But yeah, now I see, like I said, now I see like the two sides of it. Now I see people who say if you're Malaysian, you should speak BM, only BM, because that's a national language, whatever. And then there's also the other side, which is English is the more important language because it's international. BM is only used in Malaysia, so we don't need it, you know. And all I see is just two extremes, you know. And I don't think I've ever really belonged in one or another. I probably belong in the English one because, as I said, ever since I was small, I could always speak English, and also my mother used to like scold me if I speak BM. So I remember like in primary school, I remember everyone will read something in BM and then I will read it in English, you know?
Okay, so before y'all hate on my mother, I just want to explain that she came from a background where she is more English educated, which is different from me because I'm more of a Bahasa Melayu educated. So maybe that's what influenced her also lah, because she grew up learning mostly in English. So, just saying.
Like, I don't know, it just made me feel like I'm better than everyone else because I speak English, which is messed up, to be honest. And I mean, I outgrew that mentality, but some people still don't. Some people still belong in an extreme, you know, either BM or BI. And that's what this video is going to be about, because I just feel like it is such an unnecessary thing to be offended about, and we'll get to that. And also, it is such, like, I don't know why people argue over this. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that I'm not on any extreme. I'm actually like somewhere in the middle. I do speak both BM and BI along with like my own language and whatever, you know. Basically, I'm someone who feels like both of it is important. So I don't belong in any of these extremes. I'm somewhere in the middle. And that's where this opinion is going to be coming from. So first of all, why is English important? I think it's very obvious. English is I guess it's the lingua franca of the whole world, right? Because I mean, if you think about it, Malaysia, we speak Malay, and then like Philippines speak Tagalog. How are we gonna understand each other, right? If there's no English, right? So I think English is obviously very important. I'm not arguing with that. I support that point. English is very important. It is an international language, you know. So I get that. And then why is BM important? Is because I don't think people realize it, but it is still a very big lingua franca in the country. You know, inside Malaysia, it is still a lingua franca. So like when I go to the kedai, you know, if I go to the kedai and then the auntie is like speaking Chinese and I'm like, oh sorry, saya tak faham Cina, and she'll be like, oh okay, and then she cannot speak English. You know, we speak BM, that's what we do, right? She'll be like, amoy, kamu mau apa? You know, so it's still a very important thing here, you know. So I want people to see like both English and BM is so important, and I don't get why people fight over this. I don't get why people get mad at influencers over this. Like, I remember I saw like you know, when Malaysian influencers who speak English and then they do a video like 24 hours challenge without English, and I'll see the comment. Girl, there'll always be someone who's saying like, wow, I can't believe there's a Malaysian YouTuber making a video about no English, when actually it should be like a natural thing to speak BM anyway, you know, like stuff like that. And then there'll be like always be some kind of comment like, oh, I mean in BM lah, obviously saya rakyat Malaysia sejati selalu cakap bahasa Melayu, like who cares, like, and it's just stuff like that that gets me. And then also I think the other day, or maybe like a few like a few months ago, I saw on Twitter like someone hating, like attacking an influencer again for speaking English in their videos, and then they're saying like, you should put subtitle, you should put BM subtitle. Like, people don't get that it takes effort to put subtitle, you know, like why should that person compensate for you? Like, she wants to speak English, that's good for her. She doesn't need to provide subtitles for you. That is not, she's not obligated to do that, you know. So first of all, I want to tackle the people who say that Malaysians should only speak Malay, no English, because I think that that is more of the like elitist thing that I see a lot, especially like on Twitter and stuff like that, you know, on the internet. The internet is a beautiful place, and that is, you know, the perfect place for this kind of people, you know. First of all, I don't think you realize how fortunate we are to live in a country where English is being taught as a second language. Like, I don't think people realize how, you know, what fortune that is, because we don't have that like language barrier problem, you know, with other countries. Like I said, Malaysia can communicate with Philippines because there is English. We can't understand Tagalog, they cannot understand Bahasa Melayu. What are we supposed to do? English, you know. And I don't think we realize how blessed that is, because like I remember in secondary school, maybe like Form 1 or Form 2 or Form 3, we had this thing. I don't know if it's like all over Malaysia or all over Sarawak thing, or is it just my school thing, but we had English speaking day every Wednesday that we had to speak English, and that was an effort, you know, to make us speak English more. And I guess it worked, I don't know, but like, you know, it was an effort to make us more biasa with speaking English. Teachers had to speak English with us, and you know, it's an English speaking day lah, basically. And I don't think these people realize that I don't think every country has that, you know. And I think that's why some countries, they have a language barrier with tourists, you know, not to shame these countries or whatever, but it's true, right? Some countries, like tourists go there and they have a language barrier and whatever, you know. And we, for the most part, don't have that, because we are taught English in school and it's being taught as a second language. And I don't think these people, you guys, elitists, realize that that is actually a very, very fortunate thing, because we get to learn English. There are these efforts being put to make us learn English since primary school, or maybe Tadika also. I don't know, I didn't go to Tadika. Fun fact, I didn't go to Tadika. You get the point, you know. Why are you getting mad over this when it's such a good thing? You know, people from outside come to our country. Like, I remember last time I watched this video by Drew Binsky. He's a travel YouTuber. We watched it in class actually. My moral teacher played that video for us, and that's how I found his channel. Wow. And then he mentioned it was about Malaysia, and he said how it was one of his like favorite countries in Southeast Asia. Wait, I can't remember. Okay, never mind, whatever. And he said how there was no language barrier because most of us speak good English. And you see, that is already proof. Like, he could come here, a tourist, you know, can come here and not have to worry about needing a translator, or, you know, not being able to understand the people, or the people not being able to understand him, because the people he met could speak English. You know, we are taught English in school. It's being taught as a second language, and that to me is a very good thing. And also for the people who say like, if you don't speak BM, then you're not like Raya Malaysia or whatever. Like, what does that have to do with how much you love your country? You know, like, I speak English a lot, and I love my country. You know, I love Malaysia. It doesn't mean that I hate it just because I speak a language from another country. I mean, those people, especially the young people who are saying that, I know you all are secretly learning Korean because you want to speak like your K-pop idol. So don't tell me about only speaking the language of your country just because you love your country, so you can only speak that language, because hypocrites. Also, like, I think people forget that there is more than just one language here, you know, like even me, Malay is not my bahasa ibunda, it's not my mother tongue. Actually, my like mother tongue language is Bidayuh, so I should be preserving that more, you know, than Malay. I don't think Malay is going anywhere anytime soon, so I should actually be preserving my Bidayuh language more, because I think that is going to be extinct faster than Malay, you know. And I feel like some people just don't realize that there is more than one country here. Just because I don't speak BM that much doesn't mean that I hate my country, because guess what? I can speak Melayu, I can speak, you know, Bahasa Sarawak, even though that's just a slang language. But hey, it still shows, right? BM is not the only thing, you know? Yeah. Now I want to go to the other extreme, which is the people who say that BM is not important and you should only speak English. Because I've met people like that also. I've met people on both sides, okay? So that's why I know this. So the people who say that, you know, BM is not important and you should only speak English because that's the international language, that's the language that the whole world speaks, which is something I don't disagree on. In the whole world does speak English, right? It is something that the whole world... How did that even happen? Is it through colonization? Like, you ever wonder how did English jadi the thing, you know, whatever, never mind. Going back to my point of the thing just now, of what I said, BM is still a lingua franca, the lingua franca, I think, in this country. We all have this different, like I'm Bidayuh, you are Iban, some Chinese, Indian, Kadazan, so many, like more than that, Murut, orang asli, but the thing is, like, we can't understand each other, you know. And I think people don't realize how important BM still is, even though yes, English is an international language and all of that, but I think BM still plays an important role, because I've seen it myself when I don't understand someone, you know, that person can't speak my language, I can speak Chinese, you know, and then we meet in the middle, that's BM, because we both can speak that, you know. So yeah, I really don't believe in the you should only speak English, BM is not important at all, because I guess you can come up with arguments to say why English is more important than BM. Yeah, I guess, you know, because status, and I guess if you can speak better English, I guess you have better opportunities also, which is true, I guess. I'm not gonna argue with that, I don't know much about that, but yeah, English does give you a lot of advantages also. But let's not throw away totally the fact that Bahasa Malaysia is still very important, like more important than we realize, you know. And there's no such thing as English is the international language and that's the only thing we should speak and we shouldn't speak BM anymore, because I don't think people realize that there is still a very big importance in that. So, you know, I guess the conclusion of this is, why can't we all just like meet in the middle? Why does it always have to be an extreme? Why does there always have to be an elitist group, you know? Like, why can't we just meet in the middle and, you know, just admit that in some situations you can use English, some situations you can use BM. Like, basically you can speak both, you know. You don't have to only speak BM just because you love your country, and if you speak English you hate your country, or if you don't speak English you're uneducated. Like, we can meet in the middle. I speak both. That doesn't make me a horrible person. It doesn't make me uneducated. It doesn't mean that I hate my country or whatever. It's legit just a language thing. Like, and I don't get why people get offended over this, because I think it is something not even being offended by. I think if you should be offended by something, it should be something worth offended by, and it is not by a language that someone chooses to speak. Okay. I also like used to face some like insecurity issues when I was younger. Like, I went from one extreme to another. I didn't even realize this. Wow, I actually went from extreme influenced by my mother, where I felt better than everyone else in my class because I speak English, you know. And then I went from that to being insecure about being too good English, because I felt like I was too, how to say, like I wasn't Malaysian enough, you know. Like I said, I was quite weak in BM in primary school compared to my friends who were mostly weak in English at the time, and being the only one who was very good in English at the time, I felt like I wasn't Malaysian enough, or I felt like I was alienated, and I used to try to downplay how good I was in English and try to be more Malaysian, whatever that means. So yeah, it's the implications of that, you know. Like, why do we feel the need to judge what someone chooses to speak and choose to label them as something like, oh, you hate your country or whatever, you know. Sometimes the internet just gets out of hand. That's stuff that people say that people just get offended over everything. And then I get offended about what? What they're offended of, and then I make a video, right? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that is it. I guess very short. Thought I had more to say. I don't know, it's like nighttime, so I can't be like very energetic. I have to be like very quiet. So I guess that stops my train of thought. But I think I said everything I wanted to say, you know. There's no use for an extreme. Don't judge people for the language they choose to speak. And you know, you can just meet in the middle. You know, English and BM is both very, very important. And we should be grateful that we know both of it, okay? We should be so grateful. So yeah, that's it. Okay, see you in the next video.